Hi, my name is Cynthia. Today I'm going to give you my top 10 tips concerning parrots, specifically cockatiels. Cockatiels are a great starting parrot. It was one of my first ones. I was an attorney. I'm retired, and a person down the hall from me in my office had a parakeet in their office, and I thought, hey, I'll try it out. I put a cockatiel in my office, and it was a wonderful addition to my office. I enjoyed having it in there very much. It's a great starter bird. It's inexpensive. You can usually pick one up for about $35, $40. You can buy them in a pet store, a regular pet store that sells live pets. Or you can buy them online. The best way to buy them, obviously, would be through a breeder, because that way you know whether they're real tame and you see the other parrots that they're around. Now, if you buy them in the store, they're going to try and tell you if they're not real tame right at the moment that you can tame them down. I'd be a little skeptical of that because you'll probably be bit down the road if it's not tame right away. Whenever I bred cockatiels in the past, and I made sure they were tame right away, the people could hold them all the time, and a breeder will tell you the same thing. If they're tame when you get them from the breeder, they'll be tame. To keep them tame, you need to handle them on a regular basis. I suggest daily. It doesn't have to be for hours and hours. Even an hour a day is fine. I would not have them free flying around your house because they can get in. It's very dangerous for them. So you should really get their wings clipped. I would suggest you don't try to do that right away unless you have good training about it. You can bring them into a pet store and they'll do it for you, or a vet's office will do it. And what will happen is they can fly, but they fall. They can't fly all around the room. Sometimes they do, even when they're clipped, but most of the time they just can't fly up. And that's where you don't want them flying around and hurting themselves. And I did a video about dangers for pets, so you'll want to know some of those dangers. Now, how do you know to get a male or female? Doesn't matter. Well, females tend to be a little less friendly, than the males. Males tend to be more gregarious. Females tend to be a little more cage aggressive. Down the road, it doesn't matter whether it's male or female and talking or singing or whatever. But if you want a more friendly parrot, most of the time a male is a better parrot to get. Now, how can you tell the difference between a male and female? In cockatiels, it's really one of the easiest way, because the males tend to have a more yellow on their head. If it's a normal, I should say, normal usually is gray with yellow on it. And if it's mostly yellow head, it's a male. They have red patches on their cheeks. If it's partly yellow, it's a female. Now, if you get into different other ones, like you can get pieds, you can get blues, all different colors, then it's harder to tell whether it's a male or female. Then you might have to go for DNA testing, or sometimes the breeders can tell right away whether they're males or females because they're around them all the time and they can tell. If it really matters, then DNA testing is the best way, but it's dangerous. They can die from it. If it's done no, they can't die from DNA because you do it from a little blood test. But if you bring them into the store for the testing, they can die from that because they have to be put under to do it. It's dangerous, but I had all mine done. I never lost a parrot, so you can usually do okay with that. Now, training them, you need to socialize them. Again, hold them on a regular basis. That'll keep them tame. Don't put any mirrors in there if you want them to be tame. A lot of times, if there's a mirror in there, it'll take away from their tameness. Now, what do you feed them? You can feed them seed. You can feed them pellets. I always suggest pellets because that way you know for sure they get their minerals and their vitamins. Now, as far as seed, give them fresh fruits and veggies, whether you give them pellets or not. It's really important to have the fruits and vegetables. Now, as far as cages, buy the biggest cage you can, and as far as a round cage, try to stay away from a round cage. I would get out of here, out. Sorry, my dogs are getting in here. They're getting in here. There, I got rid of them. They're driving me crazy. Try to have a square cage because they usually like to have a corner that they can get into. And that works out better for them. Again, buy the biggest cage you can, and a lot of toys. They love toys, and you can make toys, and I have a video on toys you can make for parrots. Now, as far as dangers, food, stay away from avocados, chocolate. Stay away from foods that are dangerous for you, obviously. Mushrooms are bad for them. Otherwise, if it's usually good for you, it's good for them. Stay from cheese. They do like eggs and things like that. If it's good for you, give them a little bit. They'll usually love having that. Pizza crust, they love that a lot. So that's really good. Now, as far as breeding, if you want to breed them, they're really easy to breed. You have to learn how to feed them. It took me a while to learn how to feed them, and I did kill a little cockatiel because I didn't know what I was doing. And it bothered me big time. It kind of still bothers me when I think back on it because, they're little cuties. But you'll learn, and somebody should teach you how to feed them if you do it. But you need a cage or a box, a breeding box and a cage. You put that in there, you're going to lose it as a pet. And it's up to you whether you want it as a pet or you want to try breeding. And again, going back to whether it's a male or female, it's real important to know that then, because if you get two females, obviously not going to get anything. If you got two males, obviously nothing. Now, by the way, if the bird tends to lay eggs, that's a pretty good sign that's a female down the road too. Now, I hope you got some good ideas for cockatiels. Wonderful pets. Even if you have large birds, you might want to have one anyways. I love my little guys, and I think you will too. If you got some good ideas, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have other videos on parrots down the road for sure. And come back and visit me. I usually download a new video every Monday. I'm going to probably start doing two a week now. But right now, Mondays for sure. And come back and visit with me. Thanks for coming. Bye now.